There's a difference between moving fast and moving fast, and whether or not you need to think about a lot of football to make sure you don't kick back like a pump action, yes, pun intended, there's typically another in this equation. But which Flash love interests are most iconic or interesting? That's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. And at 10, Tina McGee. Tina McGee was a scientist who worked at Star Labs and a friend of Barry Allen in the 90s television series. Basically, for those of you who watch the current series, she was this show's Caitlin Snow. She helped Barry Allen deal with his super speed powers, eventually by giving him a special suit that was modified into a superhero costume when Barry became the Flash. This version of the character is exclusive to the continuity of the television series The Flash and is an adaptation of Tina McGee. The original character was created by Mike Baron and Jackson Geiss and first appeared in The Flash Volume 2 number 3, and was played by Amanda Pays, who plays Christina McGee on the current CW Flash as well, which I personally think is a great reference. In the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, however, John Wesley Shipp Jr. reprises his role as Barry Allen from that 90s series once more, as he did in the previous crossover Elseworlds, to bring this character's story to a close. When sacrificing himself on the antimatter cannon's treadmill, it's revealed that this version of Barry went on to marry this version of Tina McGee. And at 9, Linda Park. A tragic tale. An instant before the Flashpoint altered reality, Linda's children, Jay and Irie West, were sucked into the dark multiverse by a tide of dark matter. Wally attempted to save them, but was too late. Dr. Manhattan removed 10 years from the history of DC, which included all of Linda's relationships with Wally and Jay and Irie's birth. Linda's memories of her family were erased while Wally was trapped in the Speed Force. When Wally was able to briefly escape the Speed Force, he tried to get to Linda, his lightning rod, to remember him so that he could permanently escape, but she couldn't, and thus was pulled back in. Wally was eventually able to leave the Speed Force for good, though, with the help of his mentor and uncle Barry Allen. He reunited with his old friends the Titans, where he found he was able to restore their memories of him with a touch, but that Linda was mysteriously immune to this. And at 8, EMIKO Queen. EMIKO Emmy Queen is the current Red Arrow, a master archer and a vigilante who runs around wielding a bow. She is the Green Arrow's half-sister and partner, well, like, vigilante partner. And she is also the assassin Shadow's daughter. EMIKO was born to Robert Queen and Shadow on Starfish Island. However, as a baby, she was kidnapped by her father's protege turned enemy, Simon LaCroix. Not the dude who invented the soda, though. Better known as Komodo. LaCroix would train EMIKO for years with the Outsiders Arrow clan, leading her to believe that he was her father. After Robin had offered for her to join the team, EMIKO agreed to join on the condition that if her team does not convince her, she can leave. The team formed by Robin, Kid Flash, Jin, Roadhouse, and Crush had no training, but EMIKO saw potential in them and decided to stay as Robin's right hand. This is where Wally would develop a slight crush on her, despite her having a crush on Nightwing. After their encounter with Deathstroke goes awry, though, leading her to kill the assassin, EMIKO leaves the team. And at 7, Raven. Raven is the daughter and herald of the demon Trigon and a member of the Teen Titans. The woman later known as Raven was born to the demon Trigon, a demonic entity who had conquered many worlds and fathered many sons. However, this was his first, and so far, only daughter. Trigon murdered the women who birthed his sons, however, he allowed this daughter's mother to live, believing that his daughter needed to be raised by a human in order to help her reshape the underrealms in his image. For some reason. Afraid of what Trigon had in store for their daughter, Raven's mother took her and fled to the dimension of Azarath, which was beyond Trigon's reach, where she named her child Rachel. But over time, the monks of the realm trained Rachel to control her powers and overcome her father's influence. And at 6, MEENA DHAWAN. MEENA DHAWAN was a Star Labs scientist who was struck during the Speed Force storm in Central City, giving her superhuman speed. As Fast Track, she worked with the Flash to train a new generation of speedsters to use their powers at Star Labs. After the Speed Force storm on Central City, DHAWAN was appointed the director of the new Speed Force testing center in Star Labs. When the Flash and August came to visit, she revealed that she had also been struck by lightning during the Speed Force storm and had gotten similar powers. She started working with the Flash to train a new generation of speedsters. She took on the name of Fast Track, and after talking to the Flash and training the speedster Avery Ho, they ran into Iron Heights to check on 3 speedsters the Flash and August had apprehended. When there, they found August injured on the floor, and the other speedsters slaughtered on the ground, having gotten their speed taken from them. August told them that it was all Godspeed's work. I am the god of speed. Halfway through, and at number 5, Jesse Wells. By the way, editor, you don't need to put the dash Wally. That was just for me. In the case of the Arrowverse, Jesse Wells was Jessie Quick, a speedster from Earth 2. She was the daughter of one of the most brilliant scientists, Harrison Wells. A college student on her Earth, Jessie was abducted by Zoom in a plot to turn her father against Team Flash, until being rescued and forced to temporarily relocate to Earth 1. After being hit by a dark matter wave from the Star Labs particle accelerator, Jessie gradually managed to unlock her Speed Force connection, becoming a metahuman speedster and superhero badass. After helping Team Flash defeat Grodd and his gorilla army, she decided to move to Earth 1 permanently with Wally West, whom she was dating until they broke up. After learning Savitar had plans for her though, Jessie left Earth 1 to take over for Jay Garrick as the Flash of Earth 3, until Barry Allen was destroyed and Jay returned from the Speed Force. Jessie then returned to Earth 2 to continue her heroics and lead on her team. However, her and Wally did end up getting back together, as we see when Wally comes back and Barry realizes who Savitar is in like that same episode. Like he comes back, they ask him, how was Earth 2? Or how was Earth 3? One of the two. They ask him how visiting Jessie was. Then Barry realizes who Savitar was in one of the later episodes back in season 3. On December 10th, 2019, after Earth 2's destruction in the wave of antimatter, Jessie was soon confirmed to have been killed, along with the rest of Earth 2's population, aside from Laurel Lance of Earth 2. After Oliver Queen's sacrifice to recreate the multiverse though, it is unknown if she was resurrected. In at 4, Felicity Smoak. After Cyrus Gold stole a centrifuge from Queen Consolidated in order to make more Mirakuru serum for Slade Wilson, Barry extrapolated a logical but unbelievable explanation about the thief being superpowered by merely looking at the crime scene, which ended up being true. Felicity realized that he knew more about the case than they did, and he enlisted his help, telling Barry that Oliver wanted to keep this investigation in-house. During the course of their time together though, Felicity exhibited signs of being attracted to Barry, though she was still clearly uncomfortable when he mentioned his admiration of the Arrow and his theory that the Vigilante had partners, particularly one versed in computer science. You know, it was her. Barry seemed to like her back, and though he was briefly surprised to learn that Felicity spent her nights with Oliver, even though at the time it was due to them working together as vigilantes, they still kissed after she helped him on a case while he was in the street. But they decided it was better not to date because they were pining after the people they'd eventually marry. Well, they didn't know that they were gonna marry them, but they were still pining after people they couldn't have at the time. So they're like, yeah, no, let's not do this. And at 3, Jessica Cruz. Jessica Cruz inherited the ring of the Crime Syndicate's Power Ring, becoming the new Power Ring briefly before becoming another Green Lantern of Earth. After getting taken over by a Yellow Lantern ring, she was able to fight off the influence, allying herself with the Justice League. The Flash called in Hal Jordan, Earth's first Green Lantern, to teach Jessica how to stay in control of her Yellow Lantern ring. But with Hal's help, Jessica mastered the use of the former ring. When Grail summoned the Black Razor, the new god of death, to kill the Flash, Jessica maintained enough control of her body to jump in the path of the Black Razor and seemingly kill herself to save the Flash. The Black Razor though managed to kill the entity in her ring, controlling her, causing her power ring to crumble apart on her finger. For her ability to overcome fear, Jessica was actually tracked down and bestowed a Green Lantern ring, becoming Earth's newest Green Lantern, and recently is one of the more popular love interests of the Flash, with the exception of number 1. But ultimately, in at number 2, Patty Spivot. Patty Spivot in the Arrowverse is a former police detective of the Central City Police Department, formerly an officer and a former member of the Anti-Metahuman Task Force. She is also the daughter of a late unnamed man and the ex-girlfriend of Barry Allen. She is commonly thought to be the best fit for the Grant Gustin Flash, but after Barry and Patty got close, Patty realized that there was something Barry wasn't telling her. After the Turtle kidnapped Patty, Patty decided to leave Central City and go to college at Midway City University to become a CSI, like she always wanted. A few days before she left, Patty discovered that Barry was the Flash by connecting his cases to the fact that he always knew what had happened, like he had been there, and she told Joe about it, who told Barry to talk to her, although Barry was hesitant. Right before she left though, she visited Barry and told him that if he was the Flash, he should just tell her and then she would stay in Central City to be with him. Though Barry decided to make a sacrifice and let her go to pursue her dream. Then, because she wanted to prove that Barry was the Flash to herself, she called Barry while she was on the train to school, lying and saying that there was a man with so Barry came running as the Flash, which finally proved to her that she was right. This didn't change her decision to go to college though, as Barry left the train and she stayed on, which eventually led to, in at number 1, Iris West. In the comic books, Iris West Allen is the wife of the second Flash, Barry Allen, and the aunt to the third Flash, Wally West, although in the TV show, Wally and Iris are brother and sister. She is a reporter for the Central City news outlet Picture News, and while she may be the most well-known Barry Allen or Flash love interest, how can we not include one of the most iconic love stories that spans across seemingly every single goddamn timeline? Like, even the one where Barry was literally the villain, like in Reverse Flashpoint during Armageddon Part 4. In the comics though, Iris was born in the 30th century to Eric and Fran Russell, and was sent to the 20th century as an infant, where she was raised by the West family. Although she was never told that she was adopted, she had always suspected it. And because of her curiosity about digging up her origins, she grew grew up digging for the truth. So she became an award-winning writer for her school newspaper. Then she went to Columbia University and had an internship at the Daily Planet. She needed a break though, so she moved to Central City, where she got a job as a reporter for the Picture News, and after many unsuccessful relationships, she met police scientist Barry Allen while reporting a suspected murder that she was investigating, and then they began to go out. She was charmed by his honesty and stability, and then one night Barry proposed to her while riding on the Ferris wheel at Central City Amusement Park. You gotta admit, Barry, not that original. I mean, like, filling your apartment with like 100 fire hazards like you did in the show, that's better than a Ferris wheel. And I mean, like, singing a custom song that the show had written for a musical episode to propose to her again after she took off the ring because she realized that part of why you proposed was to change her fate with Savitar, that was better. Anyways, guys, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Showerman Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.